flat. There's nothing too scary above us. I don't know. As good a place as any. There's some flat areas over there too, one there. Yeah. You know?
Once we kind of map out where we want to put the communal fire pit, I might set my tent up down there for a little bit more of a windbreak.
Down in there over the bank? Stove. Yeah, you don't have a stove. So. Yeah, sounds good. Now we just got to wait for Ben.
Should be along.
He'll be along eventually.
Yeah.
He said he was going to be there at 1, so it's 1:17. He's probably just headed up the hill.
Yeah.
So probably another half hour.
Yeah.
40 minutes or so.
That's good, because then by the time he gets here, I'm not sweating anymore. My breathing will go back to normal. I can be like, oh yeah, it was a breeze, not bad.
Alrighty, let's get set up. Well, got a pretty flat area here. I got all the snow broken up. I couldn't really decide whether or not I wanted to move the snow out of the way or leave it here, but I think I'm going to leave it. I have a ground pad I'm going to use anyway. And if there's any ticks or creepy crawlies that are hibernating under the snow, I want them to stay there. So I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's what I'm going to do. So Cody's got a spot over there, nice flat spot. And he's got his cognac bottle that he may or may not have already broken into.
I just opened it.
So, yeah, I can get started here. Like I said, we're waiting on Ben to show up. I don't think he'll be too long. We did leave some tracks. So, it's been a funny year this year. We haven't had, unfortunately, a whole lot of snow this year. The weather has just been, we get snow, and we got like 2 feet, Cody, the other day? Beginning of the year, we got like a 2-foot snowstorm, 24-inch snowstorm. Yeah, we kept it it stuck around for a little over a week, and then it warmed up to 50 degrees and melted just about everything. And that's kind of been the roller coaster case lately. So, but we got a little storm yesterday and day before and coated everything with white, so here we are. But steaks, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. So with these hot tents, I cut a tennis ball in half, makes a little cup for my center pole to sit in, so it doesn't punch a hole down through the snow. So this thing works out pretty good. So yeah, I got that. Supposed to be pretty cold tonight, so I did bring the hot tent, and I'm reliant on cooking my dinner through with my little tent stove. So Smokey Hut, One Tigris Smokey Hut. I like this thing mostly because of how lightweight it is. It's like 1.5 pounds or something like that. How much does your tent weigh, Cody? Too much, right?
It's like 15 pounds probably.
15 pounds, yeah.
Yeah. Like I say, it was kind of an impulse buy. It was a hot tent for $300.
Yeah.
That's the one that we use when Lynn and I go to the festivals. We don't.
Right.
That's not a hiking tent.
Right. Right. Good if you have like a conveyance, you know, like a canoe or a snow machine or a four-wheeler.
Oh, yeah. On a canoe trip, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. there. Got a little light breeze coming from the west. My door is headed almost east. So got it all staked down. We'll see. I never seem to get this right on the first try. I always have to go back around and readjust things, but we'll see. So, oh, I need my little tennis ball. There it is. So, yeah, see if I got lucky and got it right the first time. Which might be a first, I think. By George, I may have actually done it. First time. Not bad. Hey Cody, I've got this big stone I used last time I was here if you want to use it for the pit, fire pit over there. Use this as a backstop maybe?
Yeah.
Heat that up, it might, some radiant heat maybe, you know.
With any luck, it'll go.
There. Home sweet home for the night. I got a few gaps around the outside edge. I think I might throw some snow up there just to help block the wind. This tent doesn't have a snow skirt, so yeah, I just gotta put the wood stove together, pop it through the stove jack, and get going here. Cody's already got the fire started, so that's pretty cool. We're still waiting on Ben, but yeah, I can get this rest of the camp set up so I can sit down and relax. Either that's a Ben or a Sasquatch.
Or a Wendigo.
Or a Wendigo. Oh, wait.
Definitely a Ben.
He's about that big. So in here, I have a little base, reflect the heat back up, and a couple little screws coming through it so it won't fly around on the snow. And my ultralight stove, tub stove from Seek Outside. I like this little thing. It's a little fiddly, but it does the job. Got a few little pieces here to deal with. It's got the front, it's just a simple slide, the back, two sides, and a top and bottom. So Yeah, so the bottom right there. Sides. It's a little fiddly, like I said, but I don't care because it's super lightweight. And that's kind of what attracted me to this thing, was the fact that it was so lightweight and doesn't take up a lot of room. And it does a pretty darn good job of keeping me warm at night. So, now let's do it this way. See, like I said, it's fiddly. Fiddly, fiddly do. Used it quite a bit, so it's a little warped, but it doesn't affect the performance. And once it's all together, it kind of straightens itself out anyway. So, really not that big a deal. There, so there's that. Let's go up on the top. Now I just gotta feed these guys down through, or up through, however you want to look at it. Stay together, stay together. Okay. I can find that little hole, which is like next to impossible. There we go. It's got these little grommets that screw in. That pulls that down tight, like so. And then a little screw in the bottom. Little wing nut. Kind of like me, a wing nut to hold it together. So yeah, I just gotta do that all the way around. That, all the way around. Okay, so there's the stove all put together. I saved you the time because, like I said, it's pretty fiddly. If you have patience, then this is a great little stove. If you don't have patience, you don't want this thing. This is a little heat reflector I made myself. A little wing that's on the bottom just to help keep it on there. And some ductwork insulation. It's all non-flammable. It kind of bounces the heat up so it doesn't melt its way down through the snow, especially when you have a couple feet of snow that it's sitting on. But yeah, just a simple slide for the door. And yeah, it's a nice little stove. I like it. So what I've got going on here, this is the Big Agnes 20 by 72. This is their winter ground pad mattress, I guess. It has an R value to it. I forget what the R value is, but it is their winter version. So it's pretty warm. And then underneath me, I've got the Self-Reliance survival blanket. It's OD green on one side and reflective on the other. It's like a heavy-duty space blanket. Help reflect some of the heat back up at me. So that'll help, I'm sure. I've actually used this thing quite a bit, and I haven't really torn it or destroyed it yet. And I've abused it because it didn't cost very much, so I didn't really care much about it. I figured if I ruined it, big deal, I just buy another one. But it refuses to die. Comes in this cool little carry case. Works good as a kneeling pad too. So yeah, if anybody's looking for a good solid emergency blanket, it's pretty hard to beat this one. So it's got grommets in the corners, so you could always make a makeshift shelter. You go online and check it out, but it's made from Pathfinder, Self-Reliance. Their yeah, emergency survival blanket. 2 thumbs up for me. So yeah, I can get finished with this here. Cody, see this?
Yeah. Chair.
One-handed chair setup.
Yeah.
Oh, bad dad jokes, bad dad jokes. He wasn't impressed. Not even a little?
What's that?
Not even a little impressed?
I'm a little impressed. I've just seen it before.
Okay.
I'm still jealous if that helps.
Oh. Gotta have a chair. Yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna be jealous later, and you know why. And I'll tell you why when we're around the fire later tonight, but you have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, there's that.
Shut up. It's not funny. It sucks. You'll see. Trust me, you'll see. And I bet you'll agree with me. Feels like the temperature's starting to drop. Or it's just because I stopped moving so much. Either way, I'm starting to cool off, so. Down jacket, under the wool jacket. There. And I'll put my gloves. Where are my gloves? Here's another little trick. Put your gloves inside your jacket. Don't take them off and set them on your pack or something. Keep them in your jacket. Keeps them warm. There, that's better. What's that? Oh, is it ready? It's ready. Let's go check it out. I like how it's reflective inside.
Yeah.
That's a nice feature.
Yeah. Definitely when I have the stove in there, it's nothing to get at 85, 90 degrees in there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, obviously, you're not going to stay up and feed the stove all night, but when you get up in the morning and whatnot.
Oh yeah, you got a nice ground sheet.
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, cool. So it's a half shelter inside.
Right, so that this becomes storage for my gear.
Yeah.
And then all of my warm and cozies go in the inner shell, and then I hopefully don't freeze to death.
That's a nice. And the top comes off, right?
Yes, it does.
So you could theoretically almost have a fire inside that.
You could, yeah.
Or maybe if you had like a twig stove going in there, the smoke could come out, you know, like Indian style, teepee, Indian style.
Yeah, I have it right now so that it's folded over on itself, but I can put it on there so that it's actually vented. I could have a little twig stove going in there.
That's pretty nice.
And it also obviously has the stove jack, so.
And then, hey, what's this about? What's this bag about? Why'd you get that bag?
Going to Canada.
You're going to Canada with us.
Yeah.
So yeah, come in September. Yeah, I don't know, some of my longtime viewers have seen the Allagash trip that we went on a few years ago. And Cody has decided that that kind of looked like fun, so he's been prepping for the trip himself. He bought that Seal Line 70-liter bag. It's very similar to the one that Ben has, and I ended up buying one too, because the other version is just, it's good for the weekend and stuff, but if you're a serious canoe camper, you want one of these. And the reason why, pretty self-explanatory, is this system right here. I mean, look at that. Look at that belt system. I mean, support, you know, nice wide straps. This is all adjustable up and down for your torso. Breathable, exactly. So
you're not gonna sweat yourself to death because it's not sitting right on your back. You actually have airflow between there.
Right.
It's kind of hard to tell when it's packed full of stuff, but there is space between there.
Yeah.
It carries very comfortably. The worst part of walking up here was carrying the tent. The bag is awesome.
Right, right. Reinforced bottom, as you can see. So, you know, dragging along on the ground, rocks, whatever else, pretty nice. And it's got the double D-rings. It's got some just under those buckles. They're kind of hard to see, and there's two more down there for like your life jacket or a couple other small things. And then of course you've got to bring that with you every time you go. Like I said, it's supposed to be down in the teens tonight, maybe even colder. So it's proper winter camping with a hot tent. warm my hands up and then go get some more firewood. Plenty of dead standing around here, so we won't be short of wood. Plus Ben brought some big chunks, so. Yeah, so this piece of maple, all the birch, all the bark is falling off it, so I know it's good and dry. I look like I'm pregnant. It's because I got, look at that. I look pregnant. My water bottle and my gloves and all my stuff in my jacket so they don't freeze. Okay, this guy's pretty tall. I hope I don't get hit in the head with something. Oh, okay, here we go. There's my plane. Hear it? Nice. Oh yeah. She heavy. Cool. That old stove of mine is pretty tiny, so I don't need stuff very long. Only like half the width or half the length of this thing. So about here. Hard maple, that'll burn beautifully. Dry as a bone too. This will warm me up, no doubt. As much fun as it is to baton your knife down through a piece of wood, I always prefer a little hatchet if I can. You know, right tool for the right job. Find the weak spot. A lot of times there's a little split or something. See right here. I try to utilize that. Boom. No problem. It's way less wear and tear than on your belt knife. Yeah, see? To me that's worth its weight in gold. A little hatchet. I have a bunch of different sizes. I have this one, whoops, which is about, I don't know, foot, a little more than a foot long. And I have my 2-footer. I have one around 18, you know, depending on where I'm going or what I'm doing. I bring the appropriate size hatchet with me, but unless I'm going on just a little scout or something, I almost never ever try to baton with my belt knife if I can help it. I do agree though, it is fun. Come on. And this is way faster. Beauty. Look at that guy. Gonna be warm tonight. Perfect. Love this stuff. Birch bark. Everybody knows about this stuff. Natural oils in it. Starts fires like a dream. You don't need very much, just the loose stuff. There. There's some right there too. A little bit from each tree. Well, time for dinner before I lose too much light. So, I've got this thing loaded with birch bark. And I don't think I'm going to be fancy. I think I'm just going to light it the old-fashioned way with a lighter because I'm hungry. So, got that and a bunch of little sticks. I should probably grab those right now. There we go, a bunch of these little guys. So yeah, tonight I'm going to kind of do a little stir fry. Have some chicken and some garlic, a little bit of olive oil. Should be pretty good. All right, here we go.
And these are leather on the inside. I could grab it real quick if I had to. These are
come on.
Russian gloves.
Birch bark might be a little bit wet.
Surplus gloves from way back.
Like I said, it was rainy. Really rainy the other day.
So they started out in Minneapolis.
But there we go. I'll take my water off. I don't think it's going to freeze right off. There. Did you hear that? These sticks in there quick. Smokey Hut is now smoky. I got some little spruce branches in hopes that maybe these would burn. There's ice and stuff hanging off them, but I figure if I get all the little tiny ones, they should light up anyway. I don't hear any crackling and popping yet, but I'm sure it'll go. Well, fire went out. Messing around with the camera. I brought a little bit of fat wood with me from home, so I'm gonna try that. This is what I like to use my belt knife for. Stuff like this, feather sticks. You know, I don't like it for batoning unless I absolutely have to. Ooh, I smell it. I love the smell of fat wood. Okay, try not to cut my boot. Nice curls. There we go. So, this is the Mora Bushcraft Black. I recently bought a Mora Garberg stainless because I do a lot of canoe trips and I wanted something stainless so it didn't flash rust. But to tell you the truth, I really don't like the stainless one quite as much as this carbon Bushcraft Black. So, I don't know, I may have made a mistake there. I probably should have brought the Garberg Carbon, maybe? Do you guys have one of those? What's your feeling on bushcraft knives? Do you prefer stainless or carbon blades? And I know you can't spark a stainless blade, but there again, I have no desire to bounce a rock off my blade. So I know if you're in an absolute dire straits, but I very seldom do I go into the woods in dire straits. So here we go. Come on. Focus. Focus. Not bad, huh? Okay, a few more of those. I know that these things will take, so I'll get back with you in a minute. I gotta hurry up, I'm hungry. Hungry. There, I think I got it. Fat wood to the rescue. I'm glad I carry that stuff with me. Turn my little lantern on. The camera shows a lot of light, but it's actually getting pretty dark. So there, some of this maple going. Put the door back on in front of this thing. I'll show you here. Fire. Okay. Now I just gotta put the door back on and get some food on. What I have here, some chopped up onion and some finely chopped up garlic. So that's where we're gonna start. And now I'm gonna get some noodles on. I just brought some ramen noodles, nothing fancy. But I'm gonna try to make sort of a stir fry tonight. So break those up a little bit. Not too much, but enough that they'll fit in there. I brought soy sauce, so I'm not gonna add any more salt. There, get those soaking. They don't really need to boil, they just need to soften up a little bit. Al dente, is that what they say? Cover on. There. Alrighty. I think it's a little hotter. We'll start frying up the chicken.
Powder with milk back in the day, but I had no milk in the house when I started this.
How's the fire?
It's going pretty good now.
Ooh, nice.
What'd you make for dinner?
Well, I'm warming up some noodles right now, but I figure I'd come out and see you guys.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got kind of like a stir fry. I have chicken and spinach. I'm going to fry that up in a little bit of oil, and then I've got garlic, finely chopped, fresh garlic, obviously. Some onion, and I got some ramen noodles.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just soaking in soy sauce. So I'll fry up the chicken, add the noodles, some soy sauce, fresh garlic and onion.
Nice.
I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, it's a new one. I can't remember if you ever make a Chinese food on an
No,
adventure like this.
and I'm not much of a Chinese food guy, but
Yeah.
So that kind of explains. I was gonna say I'm surprised you don't have any ginger to go with your garlic, but if you're not really
I should have. I
not
should have
really
brought
into
ginger.
Chinese food, then you know.
I should have brought ginger. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Next time. Well, I'm gonna go check on that. Enjoy the fire, guys. I'll be out after I eat.
Yeah.
Sure.
Those aren't bad. I'll pull those off and just let those. Like I said, I don't need them to boil. I just need them to soften up. Now let's get the frying pan on there and start frying up that chicken. This boy's getting hungry. Stove's starting to glow nice and red. I like that. Took a little while because everything's been so wet. Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. There, put that there. Grab ourselves. I love these little things. They hold oil and other items without spilling. They kind of have this cool little top, so whoop, there's no mess. Yeah, enough oil all over everything. So there. Now I just gotta add the chicken once that gets nice and hot. Yeah, just got the chicken in. Yeah, that smells good. A little bit of spinach in there with it to keep it moving around so it doesn't burn. Maybe I'll add a little more oil. There we go. It's all pre-cooked anyway, I just gotta warm it up. Simple, I like simple. Nothing better than the smell of onions frying. Probably attract every animal for 100 miles too, but you're not gonna get it before I do. Noodles. to cook and film at the same time. That is for sure. Oh man. Are those done? Not quite, but that's okay. A little bit of oil in there still. We need to fry up. So, one thing I like to do, my wife loves Chinese food, and every time she gets some, I always tell her to save some of these little, get extras of these little packets of soy sauce, because they're perfect for camping. So, salty, but when you're exercising and stuff, you need salt. I don't care what anybody says. It hasn't killed me yet. I don't put salt on anything else in regular life, but I do like it in this kind of stuff. And when I'm camping, it's kind of a treat, right? If you don't eat it on a regular basis, it's probably not so bad for you. There. Okay. Ooh, give it some nice color too.
Way bigger.
Yeah. Alrighty guys, here I come.
Ooh.
I think I have a winner.
Nice.
Yeah?
Nice.
Check this out.
That does look pretty good, Kevin.
Huh? What do you think?
Did you put mushrooms in that?
Spinach.
Oh, it's spinach, yeah.
Spinach, garlic, onion.
I bet
Little
it's
smokies, that looks
Little
pretty good
smokies
too.
and beans, yeah.
Oh God, I gotta move. Smoke! I'm gonna put it right in front of the camera.
and
This isn't bad.
a little. Yeah, turned out all right.
Fancy ramen noodles. Harkens back to my old college days.
I was gonna say that's a college special right there.
That's not bad.
But yeah,
Little smokies for you.
Little smokies and beans, Dr. Pepper beans.
There's nothing wrong with that around a campfire, huh?
No, it's pretty good.
Beans and Franks.
Cody's
By the
got
fire.
Cody's got lamb chops he's gonna make up
Ooh.
once the coals are a little more stable there.
There's a pretty good set of coals going.
Yeah.
there's too much wood on it still, though.
There is a lot of wood. But, yeah, we get it raging, burn it down. Maybe set them up there a little more.
Well, my thought was let this stuff
Just
here
burn down.
burn down. I'll cook my dinner, and then we can get the fire going again.
Raging back up, yeah. That sounds good to me, man. Well, I'm gonna stuff my face. Yeah, I brought some hot chocolate for tonight. Dinner was really, really good. Yeah, as good as ramen noodles can be, I guess. So, I figured have something warm before bed. Or in addition to dinner, have something warm. Some hot chocolate. Cody's over there, out there, eating his lamb chops that he cooked over the fire. They look really good. They smell really good too. Okay. Oop, not too much. There. Awesome. Yeah, it smells good. Probably should stoke this stove a little bit too. I'm gonna want to keep it warm in here, so once we're all done with the fire out there, I can come into a nice warm tent. I split myself up plenty of this maple, and it lasts quite a while, so. And I don't need much in the morning, just a little bit. Just enough to start the stove and get some coffee going. I haven't got far to go to get home, and my beautiful bride and I have plans tomorrow, so yeah, I'm not gonna hang out a whole long time, but I have to have my coffee in the morning, so yeah, I'm gonna stir this up. Where's my spoon? Oh, there's my spoon. Right where I left it. So I'm gonna stir this up. I got a insulated tin cup, I guess, if you will, for Christmas from my brother, because he knows I like doing these kind of things, and I'm a little partial to the traditional tin cup look, so he found me one that was insulated, and it's got a cover on it, so it'll help keep the heat in a little bit better. So it's nice, because normally I bring my regular tin cup and I put something hot in it and it doesn't stay hot for very long, so this is a nice treat. So there, put that where I don't lose it. Put the cap on. Cool. Now go back out and say hi to the guys, enjoy the fire.
I drank one of my beers already.
That's this one back here, right?
Yeah, I drank.
That sounds pretty cool. It's a what? Prairie Bomb.
Prairie Bomb from Kevin Dunn.
Yeah, that's a stout, right? With
it
chili
was a stout
and
with vanilla beans and coffee and chili in there.
oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
Nice.
The other one he gave me is
Oh.
called Boss Kevin from Belgium.
And from Kevin.
It's an ale and it's 9%, and that's all I know about it.
Oh, nice.
Because it's like not even English on this can in some spots.
That's funny, Boss Kevin.
Boss Kevin.
Well, like I said earlier in the video, I knew I'd be jealous because you guys are all have all these nice fancy drinks. And I decided to do something really stupid. I decided to do this stupid dry January thing, you know, it was all the rage. Sounded like a great idea when I was sitting in front of the TV.
Until you hung out with us like 4 times. You're like, God damn it!
Until like the first night I wanted a nice beer. So unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. The way I look at it, I'm giving my liver a vacation. But I have Athletic Brewing Company. It's an IPA. It's a hazy IPA. It's non-alcoholic, but it actually is not horrible. So.
And what was it called?
It's hazy IPA Free Wave.
Oh,
Free
cool.
wave. No sober carpenter this time?
No sober carpenter. I did find a beer that said sober carpenter, and I thought, man, that's perfect because I'm a carpenter and I'm trying to be sober.
No,
Not that I ever get drunk anyway, but I miss. There's so many good craft beers, and they're all over the country. They're all over the world.
Well, we also live in the craft beer capital of the world.
We do. Well, Vermont was the #1, but now Maine.
Oh, has Maine surpassed?
Maine has beat us. They have more breweries per capita now than Vermont.
That actually surprises me by quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because I just actually did a trip to northern Maine earlier this year, or sorry, early last year.
Yeah.
Most of Maine is nothing, which is awesome.
Right.
But there's no people.
Well, it's that coastline. It's
Yeah.
southern Maine, you know, the down east is.
Yeah.
I'm sure if any of you guys are from Maine, you know what I'm talking about. But that down east, you know, part of Maine. My cousin lives in northern Maine, and he says, you know, that's not the real Maine.
No.
You know, it's like Vermont. You know, Burlington and Montpelier. I'm sorry, it's not really Vermont. If you really want to see Vermont, you get out to Topsom and places like that.
Kingdom,
Northeast,
Johnson.
yeah, Johnson. You go out into some of the Danville.
Yeah,
you know,
you're absolutely right.
stuff like that. That's the real Vermont. But anyway, so I guess we're just gonna hang out and keep talking about future adventures and enjoy the fire. And I'm gonna pretend to enjoy my non-alcoholic beer.
Well, at least you found that the IPAs are still good, because the non-alcoholic pilsners and lagers are just terrible.
Oh yeah.
They really
we
are.
went out to the bar the other day just to have a couple beers after work, and they didn't have anything craft brew, so they did have a Budweiser Zero, and oh my God, gagged myself.
Yeah, you were so unhappy.
I was very
It
unhappy.
was written all over your face. We're all drinking these like fantastic beers.
I wanted to cry.
I had a Maine lunch.
Shut
A
up.
Maine lunch.
Shut up.
I'm in for the night. The guys are out there, they're still chatting by the fire. We have a little bit of fire left, but it was getting pretty late. I got my hot tent all fired up. It's nice and warm in here. As you can see, I got some water on there. I'm warming up a water bottle, so hopefully it will hold the heat overnight so it doesn't freeze. I might throw it in my sleeping bag just towards the bottom, help keep my feet warm, and I'll have some water for coffee in the morning. But yeah, it's a pretty nice night. Like I said, it's nice and warm in here. I really love this hot tent and stuff. You get in and it's a decent temperature in here. You know, your bag is warm, your clothes are warm, everything else is warm. You go to bed warm, so it makes a really cold night. Like tonight's supposed to be a little more bearable. It's supposed to be down around, like I think I mentioned it earlier, but I think it's going to be in the low teens, maybe into the single digits tonight. So certainly a good night to have a hot tent for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this flickering flame and go to bed. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Good night. Well, good morning, guys. It is a frosty one. You see inside my tent, all sparkly from all the humidity. This is from my breath. You can see it's all frozen up. Yeah, I'll get that wood stove started. I can warm things up a little bit. Maybe I'll dare get out of this bag. So my fat wood going again. It is a cold morning. Holy crap. I love it. I love it. I know there's something wrong with me for loving this, but I can't help it. Once I get that stove going and get my coffee on, things will be nice. It's about almost 6 o'clock this morning. Ben has to leave pretty early, so he might be getting up and getting around right now anyway. So there, not bad. Come on, baby, light up. Not out of the woods yet. This thing went out on me yesterday. I don't want to go out on me this morning. Looking pretty good though. Looking pretty promising. My water bottle frozen. I heated this up to hot water last night. Yeah, almost. There, get that going. There, I'll have coffee in no time. There, that's better. Yeah, the stove's already starting to glow red. So I'll be good. Yeah, water's warming up. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go out there because it's 6 o'clock in the morning and I have to pee. So maybe I'll put these boots a little closer too. I don't have to go too badly yet. Maybe I can wait until those boots warm up. Oh well. Very warm in here. Plenty of room in this smoky hut. I like it. You can actually set it up with a skirt. There's some other tie-out points inside that you can stake it down. Stake-out points, I guess. You know, inside about 3 inches in. So I suppose I could stake that down and then it would lay out flat, and you know, that 3-inch edge all the way around would lay out flat, so I'd have a bit of a snow skirt if I needed it. But And that helps just to keep the breeze from coming in. But last night I banked everything up. I banked the snow up around the outside edge, so try to keep the breeze down. So, yep, nothing fancy today. Taster's nasty. Nasty Fay. I don't know, however you want to say it. I went pretty light. I always like going as light as possible if I can help it. Save the luxury items for like my chair and things like that. So, oh, that's hot. Hot. Where's my glove? Where's my glove? There's my glove. Make life a little easier. There. Stir that up. There. Oh yeah, it's hot. Very good. Very good. Little tag on the bottom burning. Thought I smelled something burning. Well, put my cover back on. Keep the heat in. I've only got 8 or 10 more pieces of log, so I'll probably get by me about another hour in here, which will put me at about, what is it, about 7 o'clock, I think. Yeah, it's 6:30 now, so I probably have another hour of wood that'll put me till about 7:30. Those guys should be up by then. Try to get some stuff packed up in here while it's still warm in here. So yeah, it's gonna be an early morning and get out of here at a reasonable time. Like I said, I have plans this afternoon, so good morning. Forgot to say good morning. No, I didn't. I said good morning, didn't I? Alrighty guys, well, thanks for joining me on this little hot tent adventure, little overnighter, excuse to get out of the house, huh?
Yep.
If anything else, Had a nice dinner. It was a really cold night. A really cold morning.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was a nice trip. So, yeah, like I always say, if you like this kind of thing, like, share, and subscribe, and see you on the next one. See you guys. Ready? Yeah.